The Prelude by William Wordsworth. Book 9. A band of military officers, then stationed in the city, were the chief of my associates. Some of these wore swords that had been seasoned in the wars, and all were men well born. The chivalry of France. In age and temper differing, they had yet one spirit ruling in each heart. Alike, save only one, hereafter to be named, were bent upon undoing what was done. This was their rest and only hope. Therewith no fear had they of bad becoming worse, for worst to them was come, nor would have stirred, or deemed it worth a moment's thought to stir in anything, save only as the act looked thitherward. One, reckoning by years, was in the prime of manhood, and erewhile he had sate lord in many tender hearts, though heedless of such honours now, and changed. His temper was quite mastered by the times, and they had blighted him, had eaten away the beauty of his person, doing wrong alike to body and to mind. His port, which once had been erect and open, now was stooping and contracted, and a face, endowed by nature with her fairest gifts of symmetry and light and bloom, expressed, as much as any that was ever seen, a ravage out of season, made by thoughts unhealthy and vexatious. With the hour, that from the press of Paris duly brought its freight of public news, the fever came, a punctual visitant, to shake this man, disarmed his voice, and fanned his yellow cheek into 1,000 colours. While he read or mused, his sword was haunted by his touch continually, like an uneasy place in his own body. 'Twas in truth an hour of universal ferment. Mildest men were agitated, and commotions, strife of passion and opinion, filled the walls of peaceful houses with unquiet sounds. The soil of common life was, at that time, too hot to tread upon. Oft said I then, and not then only, what a mockery this of history, the past and that to come. Now do I feel how all men are deceived, reading of nations and their works. In faith given to vanity and emptiness. Oh, laughter for the page that would reflect to future times the face of what now is. The land all swarmed with passion, like a plain devoured by locusts, Cara, Gorsus, add 100 other names, forgotten now, nor to be heard of more. Yet they were powers, like earthquakes, shocks repeated day by day, and felt through every nook of town and field. Such was the state of things. Meanwhile, the chief of my associates stood prepared for flight to augment the band of emigrants in arms upon the borders of the Rhine, and leagued with foreign foes mustered for instant war. This was their undisguised intent, and they were waiting with the whole of their desires the moment to depart. An Englishman, born in a land whose very name appeared to license some unruliness of mind, a stranger with youth's further privilege and the indulgence that a half-learnt speech wins from the courteous, I, who had been else shunned and not tolerated, freely lived with these defenders of the crown, and talked, and heard their notions, nor did they disdain the wish to bring me over to their cause. But, though untaught by thinking or by books, to reason well of polity or law, and nice distinctions then on every tongue, of natural rights and civil, and to acts of nations and their passing interests, if with unworldly ends and aims compared, almost indifferent, even the historian's tale prizing but little otherwise than I prized tales of the poets, as it made the heart beat high, and filled the fancy with fair forms, old heroes, and their sufferings and their deeds. Yet in the regal scepter and the pomp of orders and degrees, I nothing found, then, or had ever, even in crudest youth, that dazzled me, but rather what I mourned and ill could brook, beholding that the best ruled not, and feeling that they ought to rule. For, born in a poor district, and which yet retaineth more of ancient homeliness than any other nook of English ground, it was my fortune scarcely to have seen, through the whole tenor of my schoolday time, the face of one who, whether boy or man, was vested with attention or respect through claims of wealth or blood. Nor was it least of many benefits, in later years derived from academic institutes and rules, that they held something up to view of a republic, where all stood thus far upon equal ground, that we were brothers all in such honor, as in one community, scholars and gentlemen, where, furthermore, distinction open lay to all that came, and wealth and titles were in less esteem than talents, worth, and prosperous industry. Add unto this subservience from the first to presences of God's mysterious power made manifest in nature's sovereignty, and fellowship with venerable books to sanction the proud workings of the soul and mountain liberty. It could not be but that one tutored thus should look with awe upon the faculties of man, receive gladly the highest promises, and hail, as best, the government of equal rights and individual worth. And hence, O friend, if at the first great outbreak I rejoiced less than might well befit my youth, the cause in part lay here, that unto me the events seemed nothing out of nature's certain course, a gift that was come rather late than soon. No wonder, then, if advocates like these, inflamed by passion, blind with prejudice, and stung with injury, at this riper day, were impotent to make my hopes put on the shape of theirs, my understanding bend in honor to their honor, zeal, which yet had slumbered, now in opposition burst forth like a polar summer. Every word they uttered was a dart, by counter winds blown back upon themselves. Their reason seemed confusion-stricken by a higher power than human understanding, their discourse maimed, spiritless, and, in their weakness strong, I triumphed.